It's me again. It's your girl, Spicy Sugar, and this is the 10th edition of the quarantine edition of the House of Hip Hop podcast show. I'm your girl, Spicy Sugar. My guest should be in the room in a minute. I'm sorry, but I have tears in my eyes because my guest had me on the phone dying. Okay, dying. So please, I'm just waiting for him to come in, but make sure you're following me. It's Spicy Sugar 718 on Instagram and Twitter, the House of Hip Hop Podcast Show on Facebook and YouTube. And please, please, please follow the home team. That's S Street Media. It's S_Street_Media on Instagram, Skull Street on Facebook, and SStreetMedia.info is the website. That's where you can see my show, all my archive shows, and all the other shows that are on S Street Media. We got some dope shows. So, yeah. And I have a amazing guest here tonight. He's just entered the building. Let me get him onto the screen so that you guys can meet him. Give me 1 second. Is former news correspondent, documentary star of the A&E TV series, The Peacemaker, LA Gang Wars, and a huge community activist and advocate on the west side of things. My guest for today, ladies and gentlemen, round of applause.
Clap, 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 clap.
It's Malik Spellmen, y'all. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I was telling them when I just went on live, I still had tears in my eyes from us laughing and talking. I was like, hold on, y'all. I got to get these I got to get these tears up out of my eyes. We were just having a good time. And we was like, maybe we should go live.
Really. And not to mention the fact that tears are a sign of a secure person. So that's a great thing.
Yes. So I want to thank you so much for joining me today. Salute to my guy, the guy that made our friendship possible, the real Cali Chris. Salute to my guy. He's a huge supporter here, and since the first day we met, we just been like this. So I appreciate and adore him. Thank you so much for uniting me with this dope soul, this dope individual. I only have one tradition that I really stick to here on my show, and that is all of the guests, no matter who they are, I have them to introduce themselves to the people. So, you're not immune, and we're going to get all the technicalities out the way so that we can talk. So, without further ado, introduce yourself to the people.
Well, thank you, and thank you for having me. My name is Malik Spellmen, and I am definitely honored to be a part of what you're doing this evening in regards to enlightening the masses of the people. I'm a native New Yorker, 100%. I'm bi-coastal between here and the West Coast. And the fact of the matter being that for some reason, I decided to get involved with saving Black people's lives along with several other people in the world. And basically, I'm just a basic individual.
Yeah. You're doing some amazing things out there. I was trying to tell the people a little bit without giving it all away. But let's start at the beginning. Born and raised in Los Angeles?
No, I was born and raised in Queens General Hospital, Jamaica.
Ow!
Yeah, I went to PS 95 Elementary School. Hill.
Nice.
What other school? Brandeis in Manhattan. All my brothers and sisters, with the exception of one, live in New York to this day, in Brooklyn or Manhattan. All my family live in Queens and all these other locations. So we're
love it.
Of New York City. I just happen to be.
Yeah. So you're born and raised in New York. You're a New York boy.
Yep.
So you have done a couple of different things. throughout your life. As I was doing my research, your life has kind of taken, you kind of renewed it once, renewed it twice, and then renewed it again. So you have a story that's very similar to, unfortunately, to a lot of, black men in America. But through that tragedy came a whole bunch of triumph for you. So why don't you tell the people about what it was like coming up as a young man in New York?
Well, great question, and of course, you definitely captured your calling in regards to the different renewal of oneself. And in a situation like this, you try to accept the challenge to change in regards to how your life is governed. And after going through the trials and tribulations of Los Angeles, coming from New York,
Yeah.
New York is like a training ground for you. You know, when a lot of people come from back east and come out here and don't make it, either go home or they just can't make it, or they get caught up in some shenanigans. But for the most
Right.
part, being a youngster in New York, what most grown people doing today at 50 and 60, we did at 5 and 6 and 10 and 11. So you take what
Yeah.
you got, in poverty, because I grew up in pure poverty in the projects in New York, all of them.
Yeah. Speak on it.
Manhattan to the Bronx, foster care, the whole
Mm-hmm.
on the subway coal, so there's not really much that no New Yorker or any person on the West Coast can tell them, and North Carolina in between.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And I know that, like you're saying, it's all too common on our side, on especially in the East Coast, when it comes to, black men coming up in the city, and a lot of them get caught up in the judicial system, at a very pivotal age. And I know that, through your lifetime, you had to sit down for a little minute too. And it proved to be something very big for you at that time. Am I right?
True indeed, but the reality is, pressure make the best diamond so it can shed light in all directions. And when you under pressure like the slavery that we was in regards to the penal system, they consider those as the
Mm-hmm.
universities of America. Where we
Yeah.
couldn't go to a regular university like other people could. So when you get into
Mm-hmm.
those institutions and you see people in their raw form, in regards to how they treat other human
Mm-hmm.
beings, races of people, and then you look at the
Yeah.
damage you did to your own community and the mental turmoil that you suffer in prison. See, what these youngsters don't know is that every day in prison is like 5 years or maybe a
That's
100.
right.
So it ain't like you gonna go in there kick it with your homies and come out and you play all day. That's a man's sport. So when you in there and you're missing your family and your loved ones and your creativity never got a chance to grow because you're so young, you become a little rebellious. But then on the other hand, once you conquer that situation, get close to getting out or getting through
Mm-hmm.
it, because I'm gonna tell you right now, and I'm not gonna dwell deep into it, but I'm serious when I say every day is like 100 years.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and then them
You are
last
so right.
and then them last days when you about to get out, that shit turns to like
The
200
most
years.
dangerous.
Right. And then it's the longest. So
Mm-hmm.
when you in there, your faith in God got to be strong from the minute they put the cuffs on your ass to the minute they uncuff you. That's just how it
That's
is, or
right.
you won't make it.
That's right.
Your
That's
mind
right.
has some cold tricks on you. You know,
Please. And the system, no matter where you go, the system is built to use the most effective technique, mental, for mental warfare. So they don't just, put you through the little things. They take it to the maximum of mental warfare, when it comes to, for example, solitary confinement is a perfect example. You know what I'm saying? The psyche does some crazy stuff when you in that room, that cell in complete darkness for 23 hours of the day.
right. Well, not only is it psychological warfare, but the same techniques that they use in Guantanamo Bay, they use, for example, in Pelican Bay or Rikers Island or Alabama,
Yes.
where my brothers and them suffered their entire young adult, young life in prison where they rob. You see, right now the penal system needed some new fresh blood because
Mm-hmm.
brothers that's my age is too old to be in prison. We don't know how to work the computer. We don't know how to do that. Then we're
That's
not rebellious like that no more because we got grandchildren. But for those that
right.
are young, they need you in it because you're young and healthy. So they always dump out the old slaves for the new.
Yeah. Yeah. You so right. You so right. And with that, I mean, it needs to be new blood pumped into every facet of it, from the purpose, the money machine that it's become, just everything. It's a business now.
Well,
It's a trickle down business, and men, especially black men, they need to understand that putting you in jail is a business. They make all this money off of every head that they put in that jail, and as long as they keep that jail full, they're always making money off of you.
well, it's not just that though. It's the social annihilation of black people
Mhm.
in a sense that out of sight, out of mind, and what we do to you experimental wise behind the walls, and the fact that you
Yeah,
don't have any rights behind the walls, your constitutional rights are already shredded here on the streets, on the big yard. So if you get in there and no one's giving you any instructions, and then time goes slow, and your people die fast on the streets, it's not just the psychological warfare from being incarcerated, but also the missing of your lineage, as well as the mental. There's a mental block that lies in the
yeah.
head of every person that's been captured, and that's called freedom. And when it's blocked like
Mm-hmm.
that, it has a tendency to dominate everything that's going on around you, man, woman, and child.
Yeah,
So when
that's
you're in
right.
the situations behind them stoops and you stuck with them wahoopies and they treat you like less than an animal, three-fifths of a man, trying to activate
Yes,
your funk so you can stay longer, or just let them social scientists see you rebel so that they can say, like, for example, Hillary Clinton said, black men were born genetically criminally insane. So this
yes,
implies a lot of different people that get a check off of one black man, and throughout the duration of his time, 20 years minimum, they're going to work him for 1,000 different ways. So
yes.
it's really sad to see what's going on. But then on the contrary, growing up New Yorker, not hip hop, but growing up New Yorker, it prepared me for this because we have a sense of culture, a sense of
That's right.
a sense of something. You're gonna be God body, GD. You're gonna be 5%er. You're gonna be Nation Islam. You're gonna be Moors. You're gonna have some kind of connection to your people. Whereas the further west
Yes.
you go, they stripped us and raped us of everything. So you see us,
Mm-hmm.
they say, what is the duty of a civilized man or woman? To teach the uncivilized civilization. So what is a beast? What is
Mm-hmm.
a savage? A savage is a person lost all knowledge of self and living a beast way of life. So when you get somebody that's living that beast way of life, then you just got to be thick skinned and bear witness that them is your people, and then bear witness to some of the shit that you're going to be insulted with. I mean, if Jesus, for example, the greatest man ever walked the earth, was to stop and address everything that people did wrong and they sins or disrespectful, he wouldn't be Jesus. He'd be fighting.
That's right. That's right. That's so right. I say that all the time. So I'm so glad that you said that, because our system right now, I mean, we're talking about, the penal system right now, but it's all a domino effect. And our judicial system as a whole, as we're seeing right now all across America, is wild. And this is not anything new. However, this is probably the first time and the first generation that's getting to actually see it all come apart in real time. So I know that we've had protests worldwide at this point, not even nationwide, worldwide. Um, what is the temperament over on your side of town as far as, the police brutality issue?
I mean, people talk about police brutality, but what the people don't talk about what goes on in Los Angeles, that the LAPD and the sheriffs along the highway patrol, they chase down 400 people a year in high speed chases. Damn near most of them get murdered.
Yeah.
Then they gun them down. So when they talk about
Right.
police brutality, we so far, if we was an advanced country in terms of police brutality, we'd be number one. Because everything out here starts in the back of the squad car. The county jail, all the police just got arrested for being corrupt.
Yeah.
Beating motherfuckers to death. So, the level of shit that we see here in Hollywood is expedited or exported around the world in such a way
Mm-hmm.
that it's new to y'all. Gang banging to the youngsters is cool until they go to 500 funerals like me, or 300
Mm-hmm.
funerals, 400 funerals. Me and my little brother buried a little infant child in a box big as my two hands spread apart. When you start seeing that type shit and you get ATSD and PTSD and shit like that, then
Mm-hmm.
you start thinking different when your cousin get knocked or your nephew get knocked or your neighbor get knocked. I mean, that shit has a different perspective. It don't become fun and games. So at the
Right.
end of the day, I came to the conclusion after doing this for 30-some years, and now all of a sudden now everybody's an activist. All of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
Every
Mm-hmm.
star on the planet, every politician, and I'm waving my hand like, well, where was y'all at when I was selling black
Yeah.
people to bury black babies to wealthy
Right.
hoes? Where was y'all at when the shootouts for 15, 20 minutes I was in? Me and my homies that was trying to stop this shit from here to Watts and Compton and Long
That's
Beach.
right.
Where was you goofies at then when I used to mention stopping the killing of black men and you niggas publicists change your number and their number and the name of the company? Where was you at? I mean, I got to give credit to Ice-T. You know what I'm saying? I got to give him his
Yes.
credit. At least Ice came
Absolutely.
down and did something. And then when the True Story
Right.
started, Ice-T was the first rapper to give up some bread.
Yes.
He was the first one to get
That's
involved.
right.
And a lot of people don't know that. And, just because me and Ice don't agree on certain things, but that ain't got shit to do with our camaraderie as brother. The boy
Right.
put me
Right.
on. He helped me and my family buy houses and shit before, when he was on top of his game. But at the end of the
Mm-hmm.
day, Ice and I was ahead of our time with that peacemaker shit.
Very, very, very true. And like I was telling people, for those who don't know, he is the main star of the A&E TV series called The Peacemaker, LA Gang Wars. And I was talking before, I was saying, the series initially aired back in like 2010 or something, right?
Yep, yep. And see,
Yeah,
the unique thing about Peacemaker was that, no pun intended, because I clearly understand what you're saying, but the star of the Peacemaker was the people. It wasn't
that's
me.
true.
I was a
That's
servant to
true.
the people, and then I was
That's
willing to take the first step towards trying to get it on TV, and was successful at it. Because we didn't have more brothers murdered on the Crenshaw Strip than on the Gaza Strip. You know what I mean?
there you go.
Come on,
There
man.
you go.
We don't have our paramedics out here done picked up more bodies than the World Trade Center. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
when I hear people talking about how tough they are with them burners, you killing your people, and then at the end of the day, your ass going to the same place that Hitler went, slave master went, rapists, child molesters, rats, suckers. So I try to let them youngsters know in advance, man, slow down, man. Like Pac told me once before, man. He said, man, it's okay to run the streets, but watch the stop signs.
Hey, 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 hey. Okay, that meant that you're talking about before people who were existing here before their time. Salute always and always rise in power to Tupac, because I believe he was our prophet for my generation. You know what I'm saying? In them short years that he was here, he made such an impact and made people think deeper than they ever thought about their brother and sister. You know what I'm saying? Of color. So I always go back to think about the things that he said. I've read the books. I've read the unreleased, poems and stuff like that. And that was the main thing he always reiterated. Look, we gonna be who we gonna be. If you gonna bang, you gonna bang. If you gonna be a square, you gonna be a square. But in either lane, don't run the stop sign. That's
Right. Well, Pac's thing was this, because I was friends with him and Biggie trying to get them to stop killing each other. I was the first person to
yeah.
interview Biggie out of here when he had a little thin chain on. When Puffy had a little thin
Mm-hmm.
chain, he had them with massive jewels. I respect all of them. I grew up with Andre Herrera and them dudes, Dr.
Yeah.
Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, going to Harlem World, Studio 54, Bond International, 42nd Street to Deuce. You know what I'm saying? Smoking weed on the train, going to the nasty movies and shit. So I grew up in the era when New York was New York. You know what I mean? When you
Right.
sleep on the train, when the police used to catch you with a pound of weed and let you go because you was bringing that mob money, or you go to the mafia and shit up in Queens and borrow money with a note with your mama and shit. That's the era I grew up with. When you was black and you take your ass to Little Italy, and he go in there with a note, the nigga give you a pack of cigarettes, Marlboros or Viceroys, and he give you some money to give to your mama. Or your mama give him some money to play their number or some shit. So I was a kid that was running the numbers, run the number to the store and all that. So my point is this, is that there's no simple solutions, only intelligent choices. And one of the intelligent choices Pac did was that he used some parts of his persona, which was mostly fear, because all black people operate under fear, face everything as reality. Okay?
Yeah.
So you operate under fear and you see what's going on around you. Only a wise man moves in fear. A sucker just goes like a chicken running through the corn, or someone with no fear, because fear is a form of intelligence. It's a form of spirit. It's a form of faith. So what you seen with Pac was Pac, my youngin' Biggie, my youngin' Nipsey Hussle, rest in peace.
Rest in power.
Rest in power. My boy from Onyx, all them type dudes, wherever they are, whether they lost one or not, because I'm kind of old right now. Remember, they get down. But the reality is, all them dudes was one motto, and they all walk like Christ. See, people think it's a bunch of religions. No, those are just roadmaps to get you where you're going. So it don't make no difference.
Say that.
If your ass is born in the rainforest, you worship mangoes. That's what the fuck you do. But it's going to get you where you're going. If a bird jump on my car on the freeway and he lock onto the windshield, that motherfucker just trying to get to where he going. Then he going to take off. He got there the best way he can. So you get wisdom and faith and knowledge the best way that is given to you. So if you're a Christian, be a good Christian. If you're a Muslim, be the best Muslim you could be. If you're a gangbanger nigga, bang on. Because God loves point is this. Them dudes walked in the spirit of Christ, because Christ is not so much an individual as it is a school of thought. And some people walk in the school of thought of Muhammad. Some people walk in the school of thought of Bugsy Siegel. Some niggas walk in the school of thought of Tookie Williams, Nipsey Hussle. So that's right. Whatever it takes to get you where you're going, but watch the stop signs.
That's all.
And see what
that's it. Pac. That is so much food to live on right there.
You see what killed Pac? What killed Pac and Biggie, and I'm not trying to digress, but I've never spoke on them in my entire life. And I got video with both of them. But what killed both of them was they were too generous. I'm going to say it again. Motherfuckers will bleed the nice right out your ass.
Would you say that? And then wonder why you ain't.
No, well.
And be insulted that you ain't.
Right, and then exactly, and then the nicer you be, the more that they try to extrapolate from your ass what they can. Okay, so that's what happened with Pac, Biggie, and any other black person that's listening. Once you become too acceptable, should I say too accessible? Yeah, stand to be correct. Once you become too accessible, then people start racketeering. So when you read the book by Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, God bless her soul, the book Motherfucker, the original Motherfucker, and stuff like that. She say to black people, stop racketeering on one another. Stop bullshitting one another. Stop jiving one another. Stop running game on one another. Stop fighting one another. But most of us stop racketeering on each other, raising the price when I come in the store. No trust when as soon as I come in the door, you hate me because you hate yourself.
There you go. Amen. That's right.
So when you see these type of things going on with Pac and all that, there's a saying in the Quran: who will lend a loan, a beautiful loan, unto their Lord? Who? What other loan can you give God other than your life? You can't get. So that's what Pac and them did. They was too nice. Yeah. You can't please everybody. As lonely at the top, the view is great.
Right, there you go. And I think about that a lot because especially doing this and being a female, being a lone wolf, doing the type of show that I do, it's not common, and it's not easy, because like you said, some days, some ways, when you dealing with business and everything, you look up and you realize, I'm the only one with my head down doing this. But that's what has to be done. All the lonely periods on the way up prepare you for, like what you said. Yeah, it's lonely up there. What? The view is amazing.
It's amazing. You know, if you ever have the luxury, if you haven't already, of buying a home and you get
Hmm.
that big house, word to the wise to your viewers, don't expect people outside of your family, and you can probably include them too in some cases, to come over and celebrate with you and be super happy. They're not going to drive over there unless they want something. You got to feed them when they get there. You're going to kiss a lot of ass and become a professional ass kisser. You have to serve them because what we learned on the plantation about self-hatred,
Hmm.
whole piece of work. That's a spirit. That's not so much a school of thought as it is a spirit. And the spirit of
Yes.
self-hatred, it exuberates one's existence in such a way that you
Hmm.
see it. And then once it's exuberated and they reenact it, it's exacerbated. And once it's
Yeah.
exacerbated, then it's diluted with a theory that's predicated on fear because you have to have what they call, you start pontificating.
Hmm.
You're tougher than what you
Pontificate.
used to be. Your mother say you was in high school one way, now you coming home with your pants sagging and you hard as diamonds. You remorseful. But deep down inside, and take it from me, I've been a black man a long time. You can't bullshit yourself. You can bullshit the baker, you'll get a bun. But if you
Yeah.
bullshit
Hey,
yourself, you get none.
that is
That's
so. Whew, I
that's why
felt. I
you
felt
quick to
all of
find
that.
a of your gang member, you pull out a burner quick. Because it's not because you pull
Yeah.
out a burner because you not scared of this person. You pull out a burner because you don't want to become the victim.
Right. 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 And that is that's a very common mentality, unfortunately, because they really. What was the letter about how to break black folks and how to turn them against each other? Was it Willie Lynch?
Willie Lynch letter.
Like you said, that was one powerful spirit that they put out because that spirit is still jumping into the mix to this
No,
day. What
it's a
what
little
what is it
deeper
to
than
this
that.
day?
It's a little deeper than that. It's psychological warfare that's finest. I'll give you these 2 points real fast.
Hmm.
There's one psychological thing they teach you in psychology class called Pavlov's bell. And if
Yes.
you know anything about Pavlov's bell, he used to feed the dog out of his hand and then ring the bell. And then he started ringing
Hmm.
the bell, and the dog would start salivating at the mouth when he didn't have
That's
no.
right.
So that's what happens with the system today on both political sides. They all ring the bell, and then us as poor people react as if we're going to get justice, education.
Like this. Yes.
We
Uh-huh.
start salivating, and then they take the bell away, and then once they use us, we're no longer needed. Then there's another scenario in which they have a thing where they tie the elephant to this tree and
Yes.
they untie the elephant, and that's what black people are today. You untie the elephant, but psychologically, he still think that he
He
tied
thinks he
up.
can't move.
And
Hmm.
that's what's happening with black people today as a whole, or poor people as a whole, is that we're tied to this because psychologically they've been playing the same game. When the elections come, they ring the bell.
That's right. That's
What
right.
every institution in America, starting at your front door, what's the first thing they do when somebody come to your door? They ring the bell.
Mm. You ring your bell.
You start salivating at the mouth, talking about who is that? What they got? What am I delivering? Is it Uber Eats? What is it? What they do in
Yes.
prison when they ask, when they do yard recall, they want to lock the prison down. They ring the bell.
You ring the bell.
So everything is
Yes.
the premises of ring the bell psychologically is across the board. So black people don't suffer from PTSD as much as they do ATSD, which is active traumatic stress
ATS.
disorder.
That's right. That's
Because soon
right.
as
PTSD means it was past,
mm-mm,
meaning it happened, it's in the past, and it hasn't happened anymore.
right,
That's not
but
the case for us.
that's not the case because that acronym applies to military personnel and others, police officers. PTSD never leaves because we've been having it for 6,000 years.
Thank you.
Okay? And then once we get a little bit of mental realization from PTSD, then we turn to
Hmm.
go and a little homie shot at the Arco stand or the Shell gas station or whatever, with a BP or whatever it is. So then now
That's
we
right.
back to PTSD again. So we have active
Right.
traumatic stress disorder.
Hmm.
There's no treatment for
Yes.
that.
Right.
Pointy
Right.
question.
Well,
Pointy
there's no
question.
treatment for that with asking.
Pointy question. Riding in a car with your children, or if you have any grandchildren, nieces and nephews, when they see the police, what they do? Babies.
And it's instinctual. That's the scary part.
How is that you 5 years old and you see the police, you start putting your safety belt on, but your mama couldn't get you to do it?
Right, right.
Why
I
is
was
that something?
watching online the other day. There was a little kid. He looked like he may have been about 7 or 8. He was outside in front of his house playing basketball. As soon as he saw a police cop car, he took the ball and hid in the shadow of his mama's car that was in the driveway. And
Yeah.
as soon as the cop went by, he went back to playing basketball. And I was so hurt by that. I was so hurt.
I've
But
done a,
it's so true.
I've done a,
He's a baby.
not only that though, I've done a social science project.
Mm-hmm.
Recently, I went and bought a former police car. That's what I was out there working on. And I
Mm.
said, let me see how the people respond. So as I'm
Ah.
riding, I really look like a cop. And black people automatically start putting on their safety belt. Everybody slows down.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I go to white neighborhoods, they fly past me, blow the horn, get out of here, scat, flick you off.
Huh.
And I'm
Huh.
supposed to be like a black cop because I'm in this car, but I'm nowhere near the police. I've been in penitentiary. Seen
Right.
the police in my life. I got 2
Right.
kids, one, and that's it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
My point is this: the psychological warfare is different on both sides. So what I've done was I went amongst those that are privileged, and now I get behind them with the car, and they get nervous.
Yeah.
So I make them uncomfortable like they used to make me.
Yes. I'm gonna make you as uncomfortable as I am on a normal basis for this amount of time and see how you feel.
Right. So in conclusion of my interesting life, which we should follow up and do a more in-depth interview about
Oh,
some of
we
the
definitely are. Cause I told you, I'm California dreaming. So I'm gonna end up coming out there, and we're gonna end up doing a whole big thing.
well, you can come because I'm a news reporter right now with the news agency out here on air
Good.
town, training to be an anchor. And
Yes.
all I can tell you is for mothers out there who have lost their children, God bless you. Um,
Yeah.
that's a terrible thing. And then, second
Yeah.
of all, look for the signs of who your children hang with. I know it sounds a bit cliche, but look for transformation of character in your child
Mm-hmm.
because
That's right.
the innocent project within your child is so obvious before he gets into trouble. Meaning,
Yes.
capitalize off the innocence. Don't cut off the communication. Stop hitting your kids. Stop screaming at them. Stop doing stupid stuff until they get of age. Then you can talk to them as adults. But when you
Right.
scream at them and deny, especially the girls, black girls, they look at the love.
That's right.
And they could be
That's
tricking
right.
human trafficking, feelings hurt, drug usage. Because I know this because I was that animal that was hurting women. I was meaning cheating and they not
Mm.
knowing about a woman's feelings and doing stupid childish stuff because it take you over 55 years to become a man.
Yes. But I say that it takes you longer than you think to become the
You don't
man
become
or
a man.
woman that you really think that you should be.
Now that part is true about becoming a man or woman that you think you should be as far as career, mental, your status in life. But for a man to become a real man in America, because we don't have a rite of passage here in America. Like you going to Africa, you got
Yeah.
to ride a hyena,
Right.
go sleep in the woods or something. And we short
Right.
miles of city park to go in. But in America, your rite of passage is done by the way of your struggle. And your struggle
Yeah.
is your rite of passage because you get there and you get what you can the best way you can.
The best way. Mm-hmm.
And the best way to get there now is through trial and error. So my point to parents who have children, don't cut off the communication. You might have to smoke a joint with them. You might have to go and see who their friends' parents are. Or
Right.
do a dossier on their friends' parents. You have to know, because if you don't, you're going to come home with illegitimate children. You're going to come home with felonious children. And then you're going to come home with children that have been damaged because you
Yes.
cut the communication off. You
Right.
screaming, and then you get to the homies, and the homies ain't screaming no more. They listen to your story about why you had to slap somebody. But mom's, as soon as you opened your mouth, you shouldn't have did. Stop that. Because
It's so true.
let me
You
say
have to connect with them.
let me say it to you in a racial way, with racism attached. If you let a nigga talk long enough,
Yeah. Hey. Yes.
for example, when men date women, most men come in strutting their feathers like a peacock, telling all they tough guy stories. And I be saying to
Yes.
myself, I wonder how many men a day hit her up and how many stories she done heard. Your story ain't new to her. See, a woman's job is the covenant. My man, my house, my car, my TV, my radio. A man's job is to conquer. I whooped that nigga's ass. I did this. I drove fast. I outraced him. I caught that football. He's a sucker. So now the table are no longer coming home with flowers for their wife. They bring themselves. Where's the chivalry? Where's that?
Yeah, that's
Where's the
gone.
girlfriend experience when I come home every day? When I come home and you got my blunt roll, if that's what I do, and you got my jacket in the bath, and you got Sade on and Erica Badu, you got me in a New York state of mind. You ask me how's my day. But see, we've been so conditioned to have to rule from the waist down as black people. What you
Yeah.
doing? Who you screwing? What you doing on Instagram? Why was you talking to that girl? But from
Why
the
you
waist up,
liking them pictures so much?
see, because we raised from the waist down from as savages, but from the waist up
Yes.
is love. Like for example, there's a perfect love, and then there's a perfect hate.
Mm-hmm.
The perfect love is your children, your family, your God first and foremost, and the life and your
Mm-hmm.
country. The perfect hate is prison, poverty, incarceration. So we have a right to both individual entities. So my point to
Mm-hmm.
you, as a father and a grandfather, is that respect your children. Because the
Yeah.
Bible say that your ass is once a man, twice a child.
That's right.
And if you
That's
disrespect that
right.
child when he's young, when your ass get old and need them depends,
Mm.
you don't think they're gonna remember that?
Yes. I tease my mother a lot, but it's true. I tell her all the time, go ahead with your shit. When you get old, that's when I'm gonna get my revenge.
Right.
But I'm laughing, but it's the truth. It's the
right,
truth.
right. But then you know deep in your soul it says honor your mother and your father throughout the day.
Oh yeah.
God
I
given
love my mama, the crazy bitch. I love her though.
to death. And I love my mama to death too. But the reality is she's not your keeper. She's your
Right.
mother.
Right.
Like the only thing my daddy
Yeah.
ever gave me was good hair.
Holla.
He never gave me nothing else, and I ain't mad at him. See,
Holla.
I ain't mad at him.
I
He
ain't
asked me
mad
one day.
either.
He asked me one day. He said, "Are you upset with me?" I only seen him 3 times in my life. I said, "Man, upset with you for what? You got you some
Okay.
ass, my mama. You made me, and I'm here. What's on it, player?"
Yep.
That's it.
It's so true.
So until we have another show,
Mm-hmm.
we'll get more in depth about what it is that we're trying to accomplish. My
Yeah.
warning to you is keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
Keep fasting, keep praying,
Yes.
and keep this show alive when the darkest hour is always before daylight.
Yeah.
The stronger the
Yeah. So
candle's always strongest right before it's about to burn out.
mm-hmm.
And if I'd have laid
So
down like
true.
carpet, I would have never been on TV today.
Listen, ain't that something?
If I listened to
I
the
just
nigga,
want
huh?
I wanted to ask you, you know, with all the experiences that you've had, um, being a gang mediator and a community advocate and activist, what in your opinion or in your expertise do you feel like is the most detrimental issue that's out there right now for these men and women, these young boys and girls?
The hidden hand. The motherfucker that's on the internet disrespecting somebody's tribe or community, and then you bite, or writing on the wall and you say it was a traditional enemy. You know, the hidden hand is a cold enemy. You know, the people that make sure they keep shit started. You know, you got a lot of people just jump. See, the life is like double dutch. You're a New Yorker. Double dutch, you gotta rock, and then when you jump your ass in the middle, you better get the popping. If you don't, whoosh, out of here.
It's gonna swap you right across your face.
Cross your face and your ass, and you gone on to the next. And the little girls be chewing their gum with their hair braided, and they be twisting their shit. Jump your ass in the middle. Life is like double dutch. When you jump your ass in, you better be ready.
That's right.
They don't care where you from.
Why you think we all like this before we get in?
Because you already
trying to get the momentum.
And see that momentum you see right there? That's getting arrested. That's getting kicked out. Wearing the same clothes for a week. Arguing with your mama. Getting into it with the school. That's all this. See? And then finally, you get kicked out, and then you get thrown into that double dutch. Because you got kicked out your mama house and swamp. Bam! Now they own your ass.
Now you got to keep your knees up. Keep your knees up.
Guard your grill and knuckle up, and keep your chin down.
That's right. That's
I'm
right.
Serious, young people.
As they say now, 10 toes down. No, that's what we meant. If
these YOPs get hold of you now, your parole officers, mother's grandmother ain't even born yet. That's how many years they're going to get.
That's right.
Remember, if you get 40 years right now, 50 years, that means somebody that's 18 got to have a baby. Then that baby got to grow up and go to college and high school and elementary and then preschool, shit on themselves and all that. Then it's got to go to med school. Then it's got to pass the bar, whatever it's going to do. Then it's got to get married, and then it's going to have another baby. By the time your parole officer's born, you've been undone 30 years.
Yeah.
Think about it. That's what I tell them through all the time. Hey, homie, they hand out football numbers, the shit you doing. And by the time your parole officers, by the time you get out of jail, your parole officer ain't even born yet, son.
How about that? How about that?
If they give me 50 years right now, I'm not eligible for parole until I'm 40.
Right.
Your parole officer's not even born yet.
Right. And you don't think about it like that, but when you do, you sit there like, oh shit. But if you break it down, that is nothing but the truth.
That shit is not a game. Your parole officer, young people, take it from Uncle Malik. I done walked in every subway in New York, every alley in South Central, Compton, Watts. I done been places the police ain't never been. And I'm telling your young ass, sit your young ass down. Take the advice from convicts like me. Drink plenty of water and walk slow on the streets. Sit your ass down, because when the YOPs get you for 23 hours a day, and Christmas time come, and New Year's come, and freedom never come,
there you
grandma and them get to dying, and auntie and them get to passing away, and you locked up and they're fighting them same Negroes you were shooting at because you ain't got no pistol in jail.
That's right. That is so true.
You can prevent it now, young son. Just get out the way. You know what I tell some young people? They say, Malik, how can I get away from the gang shit? I said, one, talk to your big homies, see what they can do. Tell them you want to get to college, whatever it is. Or, fuck it, just say you running on a hot murder. You can't come around no more.
There you go.
Man, I'm running for the police, man. I can't come on the block no more. Just go get your life. They respect that.
That's right. That is right.
Anyhow, when they do start chasing you, so you might as well do it in advance. Hey, man, I can't.
So you might as well just get a head start. Go, Smokey.
You can't outrun no murder warrant, son. I heard the police tell somebody that.
Yeah, you be running for the rest of to the day you die, literally. Literally. So it ain't even worth it.
When you come back from the dead, Jesus will be waiting on you with his warrant.
at the gate. Like, hello.
So thank you for your time, sis. I'm gonna go
Thank
look
you
at.
so much. This is only a glimpse into a conversation that we are going to definitely have face to face. I already told them I've been California dreaming anyway. I was trying to get stuck out there for the quarantine, not here. But
Well,
I'm
you welcome
definitely going.
anytime.
Yes, I'm gonna make my way, and because the last time I was in LA, I wanted to catch up with you, but my New York self, I'll just get an Uber and I'll be able to. I learned very quickly that is not happening.
Nobody
That is
walks in
not
LA.
happening.
You better get a rental car. Nobody walks in LA. Nobody drives in New York.
Yeah, yes, yes. I learned that the hard way because I got out there and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll just to get an Uber. And my homeboy that lived in Van Nuys, he was like, no, you not. I said, what do you mean? I could just. He was like, it ain't like that here.
You'll be
Like,
broke. You'll be broke. See, like I tell my
yes,
friends from Miami, we don't have a beach like Miami. We
right,
have
right.
an ocean that go from LA to San Francisco.
That's right. Hmm.
LA will break you. This place costs. If your bread ain't right, you will be
Yeah,
staying in one of them housing projects.
right.
One day we'll have a discussion about how many 56,000 homeless black people they got downtown Los Angeles that's living worse than Syria,
Yes,
Vietnam, Ghana.
I've seen it for myself, honey. I've
Wicked,
seen it for
wicked.
myself.
You don't even think a human being even would be treated like that on a planet.
That's
That's
right.
how much it
That's
is.
right. Yeah, yeah, and I know you telling the truth on that. It's something that you think you understand it based on what you saw, but it's nothing like what you think until you go down under them underpasses and go down to them strips where it's like a camp of them.
No, 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 no. The biggest population of black people in California is on 6th and Julius, downtown Los Angeles. Remember, we had the
Mm.
Katrina people. We got
Yes, that's right.
gentrification. We got gentrification. Then they give our housing to other people.
Yeah,
Everything when I came to LA was black. South Central, Compton,
yeah,
Black. All the houses paid for. The banks didn't give out no loans to them. Now,
right.
ain't nothing black nowhere.
Yeah, yeah. I was very shocked.
And you
Yeah,
know what I'm talking about.
yeah, yeah. I was shocked. I was like, oh, okay.
I came out of
There's
these
black
people
people over
had
here,
two
you know?
families.
I even
Yeah.
had to tell my boy, I was like, I thought this was a black neighborhood. He was like, yeah,
Yeah, it's black when the lights go out at night, then it come back on.
there you go. It's the truth.
They have,
I see it with my own eyes. It's the truth.
boy, let me tell you, don't get me started. All black folks is downtown outside sleeping under a shopping cart. I seen a dude one day. He was sleeping inside of the refrigerator.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Remember, we are the cocaine, heroin capital of the world.
Mm-hmm.
So you come out here if you want to, playing with your little pills and you want some
Gateway.
dope.
They don't
Well,
call
you
the
gotta stop.
gateway for nothing.
We right next door to foreign countries and they got it for you, baby. What you need? So you want
What
to
you
fuck
want?
your life off? Come out here playing.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
When they get through
Come on
hitting you
out
with
here.
that, come when they get through hitting you with that crystal meth, that heroin, that cocaine, and all this other shit, they got these pills. This is the. Let me tell you the motto of California that I'm gonna push because my brother's waiting on me. This is the motto of California people in New York. And to the ladies, forgive me, but if you ain't fuck something, smoke something, stole something, used some drugs, or negotiated a deal before 12 o'clock, you're not in Hollywood.
Hey, boom.
You're
And that is the God is true. Yes.
I'm gonna
My
say it
brother,
quickly. If you ain't fuck something, smoked something, signed a contract, did something low, or got some money by 12 o'clock in Los Angeles, you're not in Hollywood. You're at home.
that's right. Sit on the couch. That's where you are.
There's three type of motherfuckers in the world: those that make it happen, those that watch it happen, and those that don't know what the fuck is happening.
That's right.
Pick
That
where you
is
want to
right.
be. Pick where you want to be, people.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Absolutely. My brother Malik, I love you so much. This is only the beginning. We definitely are going to get together and really do something to put out there for the people. Anything, anytime, any day, in any way that I can play a part in anything that you're doing, I'm there. I'm
I
only
appreciate,
6 hours away.
I appreciate it because I might be calling you one day like, sis, I'm at the airport and get there quick because they can smell it in my pocket.
I'll be right there. I'm only 15 minutes away, which means in New York speed, I'll be there in 5.
We gonna be smoking, drink us some champagne, go see the poor people, hand out some bread to the children uptown, ride in
That's
hot
right.
shit, and look at these
That's
people in their faces and say, there is a God. You cannot stop
That's
us.
right. That's right. And I'm all for it. And I would be so honored to just walk that with you and put some work in the community. So we're definitely going to get that going.
I appreciate I've always wondered, and that show was on many years ago, and they took it off the internet because black unity is a crime. But I've
Right.
always wondered what if any black people in New York ever seen that show Peacemaker, and if so, being a New Yorker, you always wonder what your people
Yeah.
benefit from that or not. And I'd love to just go through the streets of New York and talk to people to see.
Oh, yeah. Listen, I spoke to one of my boys that was in Missouri and I mentioned the thing. He was like, oh, yes, I seen that, blah, blah, blah. So you have no idea how far that film reached because, you know, I was talking about like your show. I was talking about Coach Snoop. I was talking about another show about how every single time we get a show that is showing our black men and women in a different light other than robbers, killers, and negativity, they just snatch it right off the air. Snatch it
Here's an
right
example.
off.
Here's an example.
But
It took
the shows that do make it at least a season or some a little longevity to it, it makes such a big impact because when and how far in between do we get to even see these images? You
first
know?
of all, first of all, they took my show off the air, off the internet, and they still kept up kitty porno and disrespecting women.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. And human beings. Second of all,
Mm.
they ran my show so fast it was like a commercial. They ran all 5 segments in 5 days and it was canceled. And it was the highest rated show
And that
on
was
TV.
it. Mm-hmm.
It was the highest rated show. Got a higher rating than Oprah Winfrey's whole network. I see the numbers. Then it dropped down a little bit. But my point is this, is that you can kill the show idea. You can kill my friend. You can even kill me. But you can't kill the idea.
That's right. Or the message.
You can kill the person, but you can't kill the idea.
That's right.
So
And
my
for
dream,
those who've never seen it, it is right now available on Amazon Prime Video because I made sure to go hunt it down to make sure it was somewhere. So anybody who wants to see it, is called The Peacemaker, LA Gang Wars. It's available right now on Amazon Prime Video. And all of y'all been in the house fucking all over Amazon Prime, and I know y'all paid for that. So go on and use your money and go watch it. It's an amazing, amazing series. You did, and there was a couple of them. I was telling people there was a couple of them. I was scared for you. I
wow.
was absolutely scared for you because you're actually some of these places. Yes, you got big homies and stuff that you have relationships with, but some of these places nobody knew you.
Yeah, and not just that though, and that's a great way to enlighten people about that. That was real. It wasn't none that reenacted. That's the first thing.
Right.
And if you look at this one segment I did with, like, I think it's the Paybacks and some other gang called the Backstreet something, anyhow. I can't remember. But I walked through the gate and I was leaving, and I was saying, "Wow, where do I go from here?" That was a real
Mm-hmm.
moment because in the back behind that y'all didn't see, they was back there smoking shire, eating pork, and they was drinking some cheap vodka alcohol, and they went
Mm-hmm.
from yeah, Malik, we with it to getting excited, and then I went back to they was a
Mm.
full kill. Man.
Mm.
I mean, A&E gave me a bulletproof vest, $1 million life insurance policy. They changed the name of the production company, and they sent me out there by myself. And unfortunately, Ice and them didn't come. I was all by myself because I've been
Yep.
doing this for years before that. And
Right.
when you drunk off of something, you don't even realize you're high for something. And it was fear. So it wasn't just a
Mm-hmm.
Malik show, it was us along with the people from the truce and
Yeah.
all that, people that's been working and gave their lives for this. But as an individual, I can honestly say I must have been drunk.
The one thing I can say is, you definitely had divine protection over you, because there was quite a few instances that I know real people didn't never walked out of. You know what I'm saying? That you walked in and out of.
And a lot
And
of
at
those
the end
brothers
of the
I know,
day, even the younger ones, that was all they was turned all the way up. Even the younger ones that was turned all the way up, and they were in their emotion and in their feelings. Something in this divine order got them focused enough to hear you. To hear
well,
you.
I'm going to tell you what they heard. They heard the call of God. They heard their parents in my voice, and your sincerity is your credentials in this game. And by
Mm-hmm.
God's grace, myself along with many others have a license to operate an LTO, and that's built on reputation and trust.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm a New Yorker, so I'm an outsider, mind you. I'm an
Right.
outsider because I've been here so long. I speak the language of the people. And my advice to New
Mm-hmm.
York cats when they come out here, when you come to LA or any other city, check in the embassy, homie. Because
Yeah.
in LA,
And
your Uber
it's
driver,
not about your ego.
in
It's
LA,
not about ego.
nah, it's not about ego. Because in LA, your Uber driver will be your executioner. He may be a cripple of blood or just a straight jacket. You just never know.
Hello.
Don't let these palm trees fool you when you come out here.
Hello. Exactly.
Somebody from South Central Watson, Compton in there. And that don't make them bad
Mm-hmm.
people. Like they said back in the days, when you come to LA, watch them funny ass colors. Don't come out here with your macho shit. I can handle that. And
Right.
definitely don't come out here thinking, well, I'm from a gang in New York, the Crips of the Blood, so I'm gonna come out here. This is another
That's the
planet.
fastest way to get yourself washed out there.
This Khalil, Uncle Bill outside. Tell him something on the radio right quick for me, please, little bro. This just remember that.
Yeah.
Get you a credit card. Don't show no stack of money. Get you a credit card prepaid. Go to the
That's
gas
right. That's right.
escorted and uninvited, and take something in your hand, a pack of chicken, a bag of weed, and then remember, in my conclusion of this interview, when you go to any country, any community, any neighborhood, I learned this the hard way. Diplomatic immunity only lasts so long.
That's right. That's right. They only gonna give you but so much leeway. And
And
that's
that's
it.
it. The wolves get
And
you.
once you cross that line, I know this for a fact. Once you cross that line, it ain't no backing going back.
Certain words in Spanish mean one thing. Translated to
Right.
English, it means something else. Example. The word gift is a German word. But the word
Mm-hmm.
gift means poison if you translate it. So your gift can be
Yeah.
used either help somebody or hurt somebody, like a snake. The poison that's in a
Yeah.
snake can either help you or can kill you.
Or kill you. It's no in between.
There's no in between. So know your audience wherever you go, young people.
That's right.
Everybody's not your mama. Everybody's not your homies, and everybody don't tolerate tantrums because this is a man's sport, meaning man and
That's
woman.
right. We got 15 seconds left. Instagram is about to take us off. Thank you so much, Malik. Please follow him at Malik Spellmen, Malick Spellman. I'm your girl, Spicy Sugar.